Myth number 1. AI is great at coding. False. AI it's not great at coding because AI doesn't really code. It guesses. When a human developer codes, they develop certain mental models, certain understanding. In exchange, what an LLM does, it just looks at whatever you send it in terms of a prompt or context, and it tries to come up with the best prediction. And that's the first thing we have to understand. The value of hiring a programmer, it's not only the output itself. The next thing that we have to understand is that instant code generation at massive scale, it's a weakness, not a strength. Veteran programmers like Bill Gates, for example, understand that measuring programming progress by lines of code is like measuring aircraft building progress by weight. It's completely backwards. Because what happens with AI coding is, hey, you can create and ship a lot of code, but that productivity vanishes when you actually have to debug that stuff and when you have to review it. 66% of developers say that they are spending more time fixing almost right generated AI code. AI myth number 2. AI is getting exponentially better and replacement is inevitable. Technology doesn't always get better. Just look at your calculator. But again, AI boosters will come and say, hey, AI performance, it's at this point in time just an engineering problem. We had some negative surprises where Meta surprise Llama 4 drop exposes the gap between AI ambition and reality. And it showed us that LLMs are reaching a certain plateau. Here we have Queen 2.5 Math 7 billion instructed versus Queen 2.5 Math 72 billion. So we had 10x more parameters in the model and we've got a 1% accuracy increase. AI performance, it's not an engineering problem. It's a mathematical one. And you cannot solve that by simply adding more parameters. Mr. Sam Alwan will tell us that, hey, we can add context engineering, we can add agent harness, we can add scaffolding, we can add MCP or whatever the hell is next. But there's a problem with that. Long context actually increases failure rate. And we have several studies about this which show that less it's actually more, that actually reducing the numbers of tools available to LLMs significantly improves their function calling, or that, for example, LLMs get lost in multi-turn conversation, and that the smaller your context, the smaller your conversation, the easier it is for LLM to come up with a good solution. Even people who are building AI agents are betting against them because they've seen firsthand that conversations, the longer the conversation gets, the more you pay for the AI agent and the worse the results. An over-engineered, unstable system, it's still an unstable system. AI myth number 3. It's a skill issue. You just don't know how to use it. Let's gaslight people instead of accepting the tool is broken, when in fact the truth is there are no such things as AI skills. AI tools are incredibly intuitive and simple to use. Most AI skills can be learned in a few minutes, and an expert at AI prompting with zero domain expertise won't be able to check if the quality of the AI output is actually good, whether we're talking about coding or cooking or medicine, which is why people say, hey, the best developers working with AI are the ones that are already senior or experts at what they are doing. AI myth number 4, AI won't replace you, but another developer using AI will. There was an experiment. And there was this university teacher in the MIT, and he taught a Fortran class, and he made an experiment. He said, hey, let's split the class in 3 groups. One group will use ChatGPT to solve the questions. The other group will be able to use the Llama model from Meta, and then the others can only use Google. Which group will be able to solve the problem faster? Well, as you probably guessed, ChatGPT users were the fastest, Llama was second place, and the slowest were the ones using Google. But now comes the interesting part. Which group do you think passed the final exam about the task? Surprise! ChatGPT users passed at 0%. Everybody failed the real exam. Llama or Llama users passed at 50%, and of course the students using Google passed at 100%. Developers who are using AI excessively are actually slowly making themselves obsolete. AI myth number 5. AI it's already replacing junior and mid-level engineers. This myth started started with this amazing study from Howard University, which claims that generative AI has seniority bias technological change. Then, of course, the media jumps on it and is like, hey, top software engineering students can't get a job because of AI. And everyone is so panicked. Entry-level tech workers describe the AI-fueled job apocalypse. Actually, the junior hiring crash started in 2022 before many people knew what prompt engineering was. A few months after the Fed jacked the rates from 0% to 5.25%. And as you can see in this graph, I mean, there was a ChatGPT launch in Q1 2023, but the preference for hiring senior engineers started way before GPT has launched. This is a known phenomena, and it happened ever since 1980 when the economy slows down. Junior positions are first to take a hit. Nothing new. It's not because of AI. It has to do with macroeconomics. A tip for you, if you're a recent graduate, look for jobs around software dev, maybe Salesforce admin, maybe Shopify. Find shelter until the good times are back. AI myth number 6. Senior engineers oppose AI because they are too attached to the old way of doing things. Yeah, we're just a bunch of dinosaurs and we are screaming against the asteroid, but hey, adapt or die. And it feels like senior devs are unwilling to adapt because they love typing code by hand. It feels like the industry really picked on them. The AI shift is real, but senior engineers are slow to adapt. Senior engineers struggle to build AI agents because they are used to thinking in a deterministic way, and AI agents and the new way of coding, it's probabilistic. Senior devs are the ones that are using AI the most. They are shipping more code, and they are the ones that also are the least afraid. They are more confident in their expertise, right? So this idea of senior devs being some kind of dinosaur that doesn't want to adapt, it's fabricated. They know that AI generates technical debt because imagine being in a team with 3 juniors who are just pushing hundreds of lines of code that they claim to have reviewed, but they don't review. And you are the one that has to stay late at night and review all that stuff, because if the application stops working, it's on you. Seniors also know that AI creates too much work. Again, debugging, code reviewing, etc. They know that context engineering sometimes takes more work than just fixing the problem. Again, when you have a good knowledge of the code base, when you have a good understanding of the technologies, and when you're a senior, it's a lot easier to just think a bit about the problem, go there and fix it, than, querying the freaking chatbot or whatever, the agent, and waiting for it. And then maybe you waited 5 minutes for nothing. And I've seen this a lot in all the demos that AI influencers are posting. Is like, oh yeah, let's wait 20 minutes. Oh, it kind of made a mistake. And, I kind of fixed it, but for the sake of this video, let's suppose it's getting it right. What the heck? You just wasted 20 minutes. You could have fixed the problem yourself in probably 3 to 4 minutes. 4, seniors know that AI is creating a generation of developers who can code. And 5th, the technology cannot be relied on and makes you less productive. That's why senior devs are against AI. AI myth number 7, and we're gonna finish with this one. AI is not a bubble because AI companies have revenue and they are building infrastructure for the future. There is some revenue in AI, but what you find a lot, it's what we call the infinite money glitch. Like we have this circular financing. OpenAI buys chips from NVIDIA and NVIDIA invests in OpenAI. OpenAI partners are carrying 96 billion in debt. Actually, it's estimated that OpenAI needs to raise about $500 billion in the next 4 years to stay alive and serve its commitments. That's more than the projected available supply of US venture capital at the end of 2025 and the combined available capital in the top 10 private equity funds. But again, AI boosters will say, hey, we are building infrastructure, right? It's like the long-term investment into the future, just like the internet. Well, it turns out that the average useful lifespan of an NVIDIA chip, a GPU, in a hyperscale data center, it's generally estimated to be 1 to 3 years. And that's why there is no long-term infrastructure investment. This is a bubble. And my advice for you as a software engineer is to avoid working at companies with a huge exposure to AI. Avoid AI startups. They're going to be the first one that are going to take the cut, even if you understand that this narrative is false. You gotta play the music, right? So if this is the music, if this is the song they're singing, just sing along. And if your company and your CTO, CEO, whatever the heck is telling you, hey, use AI, just say, yeah, I'm using AI. And that's it. And just go and fix the problem however you see fit. With that being said, if you're a JavaScript engineer and you like to get to senior and beyond, become the best software engineer you can be, watch the free training and book a call with us. We might be able to help.